Nightreign is an Elden Ring co-op spin-off with action RPG survival elements coming out May 30th, according to the website. It takes 3 players and drops them into a 3-day cycle where you loot, fight, and build your way up, taking on the boss at the end of each day. Each day is important as you and 2 others will explore the area to find loot and other upgrades in order to increase your odds at the boss. If things weren't already hard enough, while trying to build yourself up, you will also have to take in consideration the blue circle. Yes, like in Fortnite, essentially guiding you to where the end of the day boss will be. And yes, it will show up in the most inconvenient times, so planning is crucial as you will only have but a certain amount of time before it's time to fight the boss. With the release of the game nearing, FromSoft hosted a network test allowing players to partake in 5 3-hour sessions to allow us to get a taste of what the game has to offer, while also helping them build their servers up for better stability for full release. Win-win situation. We get to play, they get a better idea of how to improve the experience. Thankfully, I was able to receive a key to partake in the event, however, sadly, my best friend did not. So I hopped into a game, and this was my experience thus far. My first introduction was a classic FromSoft menu banger. Yeah. Oh yeah. That sounds like the FromSoft I know. Oh, welcome to the network test. The network test behooves the player to travel to the lands between and defeat Tricephalos? I'm guessing that this is going to be one boss is like presented in this thing. Well, look at him.
I am always ready to fight.
Dude, he's cool. From Relic Rites menu. To invoke the power of Relic in your possession, conduct a Relic Rite via the Relic Rites menu. So I'm guessing the relics are something you get for like beating the runs. This like looks like the round table hole, but like a little altered. Bird guy looks pretty neat. Do we have the blacksmith guy in here? No. Dang, look at all these books. She's pretty cool. After exploring the round table hold and get the FromSoft treatment, I got to choose from 4 unique characters to jump into my first expedition with. Those characters being Wilder, Guardian, Duchess, and Recluse, with 4 more characters coming upon release. Each character with their own playstyle, build, and special abilities. My first pick was Wilder. At the start of the expedition, you fly down on a spectral bird to a random location on the map. With very limited control of the bird, it's pretty safe to say there's specific areas they want you to land. Trying to get a hold of the controls, I went to the first area with enemies I saw, and soon realized how little damage I was putting out to enemies that I knew were in the base game, weren't that strong. This is where I realized just how important leveling was. Leveling up in Elden Ring is a bit more complex, as you need to level up specific attributes that'll benefit you in certain areas. In Nightreign, they changed that to make it a lot faster by just leveling up everything as a whole, to speed up the process and keep you moving quicker. Again, using your time efficiently is Nightreign's formula since you don't have all that much of it, so instead of spending a few minutes leveling, you could spend a few seconds. One thing I forgot to mention is how Nightreign is a roguelike, supposedly generating different enemies, bosses, and loot each run you enter. I'm pretty sure the network test was just them giving us a taste of the run because it didn't seem like very much change regarding the enemies and areas of the map, but I'm sure they are holding off to what they show until the full release of the game. With this next part, I showcased the map and getting to cooperate with my teammates to fight our first optional boss, which I got to a little late. Again, this was my first game and I was still getting used to how it played. Oh. All right. Oh, last hit. Hell yeah. With defeating the boss, I got a first look at not paying attention to the blue flame and getting stuck outside the circle, constantly taking damage. Luckily, it's pretty easy to outrun the flame and we made it back into the main area. We are out. Here we run into something almost as important as the Site of Grace, the Merchant and Weapon Anvil. These guys are in random areas of the map and can be used to upgrade your weapon's damage as well as stock up on items. So not only do we need to use runes to level up, but we might want to save a few in order to spend it on dealing more damage. Most bosses will also drop items when they die, but only give the option to choose one out of the 3. so pick wisely. Bosses aren't the only way of picking up items, as you can naturally find them in chests and crates, but they are shared, so you and your teammates will have to choose who gets what, which I think is a neat way of cooperating unless someone wants to just hog everything that drops. Again, we nearly get caught in the circle and run out, making our way to our first main boss of the run, the end of day 1. During this fight, I got to try out Wilder's special ability, which is this short-range fire blast. It does pretty good damage if you are close enough to hit with it. I had plenty of times using Wilder that I would just miss entirely. Soon we defeated the main boss, ending day 1 and granting us yet another ability of our choice. As soon as day 1 is over, day 2 starts, with us testing out no fall damage. We repeat the cycle of leveling ourselves up for the next boss to come. Another thing I liked was having to choose what items to take with me, as I only had a limited amount of pockets, so choosing what items to hold could be what saves you in the next fight. At random times, as I learned here, you can be invaded by full-on bosses at the most inconvenient times, and yes, even places like closed-in caves. Sadly here, I got ambushed by Morgott, as if I haven't ended this guy enough times before. But when I tell you, this isn't no ordinary Morgott. I don't know what this guy is taking or how much creatine he took in this version, but he is an absolute beast, and sadly, won't be the last time we encounter him.
Oh, they're here. Thank God. Dude, he came out of nowhere. Dude, this is wild. Oh, he's back.
I did get to experience dying for the first time. When you lose, you don't fully die right away, but go down with a 3-bar timer. The bar starts at 1 on your first down, and the more you go down will add a bar at each one. To get the bars down and get revived, a teammate will have to come over while in the heat of battle and attack you to lower the bar and get you up. The more bars you have, the more they have to hit and harder it is to get up. If the timer goes down, you will die. If you aren't fighting a main boss, you will respawn without your runes and will have lost a level. If you are fighting a main boss, you will not respawn, and if everyone goes down, will fail the run. Then it was time for the end of day 2. Another boss, but increasingly harder than the last. After clearing out the teaser enemies, we got not 1, not 2, but 3 Horse Girl bosses.
I need, like, the Guardian to help. Oh, I'm down.
With us one after another going down would be the end of our first run, but we didn't go home with nothing.
Lightning attack power up. What are these? Are these main? Like a main things?
With that run coming to an end, so would this 3-hour session. I wasn't able to play but a part of session 3, but thankfully would be able to experience all of session 5. I would have played the 4th session, but that was at like 4 in the morning for me, and I wasn't getting up that early. So at 10 p.m. the next day, we hopped on to hopefully be able to not only make it further than last time, but to try out all 3 days by defeating the main boss on day 3. But first, the main menu again.
Here we go. Sweet, we are in. This time, I think we're gonna play as Guardian, which is this beast of a guy. If we have time, we're gonna try out some of the other ones too, because I do want to give them all their limelight. All right, let's go ahead and hop in. I doubt there's anything new. All right, we just got into a match, so let's go. We are heading inside. All right, went ahead and locked in Guardian. Look at my boy. Oh, you can have multiple? I did not know that. I didn't know you can have multiple of each. I thought it was more like once someone locked it in, that was it. So we got 2 Wilders and a Guardian. Okay.
As soon as we dropped into the next run, I realized something I wasn't doing until right now. Full sprinting. To be fair, I knew about the faster running, but just assumed it was tied to its normal run button, not another button entirely. With moving at the speed FromSoft intended, it felt a lot easier to get around and made the boss fights feel a lot easier to maneuver, which we would need since having one of our teammates just up and leave. But we pressed on to see just how far we could get with just the 2 of us.
Now, do we fight this dragon? Yes. Like, not even, no hesitation. Yes. Just yes. Oh, I did not time that correctly. Oh, this is not good. Oh. Advance run. Oh, hell yeah. Nice. Good job. Oh, purple. Ooh, yes, please.
After the dragon, I got to try out the Spirit Stream jump, which is about the same as an Elden Ring but without Torrent. Still cool as hell. With getting to day 1's boss and just barely surviving it, day 2 wasn't looking good with just the 2 of us. But I wouldn't let that stop me from trying. Is the positive mindset I had going into day 2 before Morgott yet again invaded us being the absolute bully that he is.
Where's my teammate? Jump, jump! Oh! Oh my god! Dude! Where's Wilder? This is wild! He's a bully! He's a straight bully! He's on my ass! Oh my god! Dude! That is wild. What a absolute bully.
Trust me, next time, I'd be ready for him. In the end, we ended up losing on the main fight of day 2, but I was proud of how far we got on just our own. Pretty much the same place we got on our first run, but with just 2 people. So I knew I was improving and was confident we would beat it if given another shot with a full group.
We got pretty much we got exactly where I left off the first time, the last game with only 2 people, so.
At this point, I was really enjoying Guardian so far, and he ended up being my favorite character out of the 4. While running it back, I ran into this red outline of a player, which I'm pretty sure indicates someone who died there and can be looted. After taking out a few more smaller end bosses,
thank you.
Using this Spirit Stream jump to my advantage, I got to try out Guardian's main ability, which is my favorite one thus far.
Go up. There we go, nice. I just got a little guy. Beat his ass! Beat his ass.
On day 2, some sore loser decided that beating me senseless 2 other times wasn't enough. But with a full team, enough space to fight, we were ready this time.
I'd like to get him. Ooh. I'd like to get him. Nice, backstab on him. Oof. Oh, hell yeah. 119,000. Dude, that was huge.
With the confidence of finally making the Fell Omen fall, we brought that same energy over to day 2's fight, and for the first time ever, finished day 2.
Hell yeah, first time doing day 2.
Completing day 2 would allow us to travel through the Spirit Shelter, which just looked like this weird goo. This would take us into day 3, where we would fight the main boss of the whole run. Depending on the boss you chose, would be the boss you fight at the end. For the network test, it was only 1, and we were finally about to fight it. The entrance did look like classic FromSoft beauty though.
I guess we're ready to go. Ah, look at that thing. Dude, that's so cool. Dude, this is sick. Bird feet for free. Dude, look at that. So cool. Dude, oh my god, look at this.
The boss would be Gladius, Beast of Night, a 3-headed dog that in my knowledge was my first Nightreign exclusive boss. Well, he was 3-headed for a time before splitting off into 3 separate entities, which I thought was pretty cool. The boss would regroup, then separate a few more times, making us go from fighting 1 monster to 3 and then back again. Eventually the boss would come to an end, granting me my first Nightreign win.
Here we go. Nice! Is that it? I think we did it. That's what I'm talking about! Dude. Thank you for playing. This concludes the play range of the network test version of the game. We humbly implore you to return one day for the full experience. Feel free to continue playing this version while the network test remains in operation. With completing my first full run, I had about an hour left of playtime, so I went in to try and experience a bit of the other characters before the time ran out. I ended up going with Recluse, and did have a little bit trouble getting used to her as I never used magic builds until trying her out. I also had to get used to the fact that you don't have access to FP Flask like you do in Elden Ring, so casting your spells were that much more scarce since you had to take in consideration of your FP a lot more. Best way to use her is to use graces to your advantage to replenish, find FP trees found around the map, and last but not least, to carry a secondary weapon when all else fails. When realizing how necessary it was to use something else besides magic, my experience went a lot smoother. With Duchess, her playstyle was a lot similar to Recluse.
We're gonna be like Assassin's Creed. Oh my god. 3 Duchess! As she was a lot weaker, but made it up with her speed.
Oh, the Royal Knight. That's this guy not attacking. Oh.
Though still not fast enough to block a horse's foot. I did end up coming across important things like a place to increase your flask and plants that give you instant health right before randomly getting disconnected.
Oh. No.
While learning how to parry for the first time, and yes, I've played Elden Ring, Demon Souls, Dark Souls 1, 2, and currently playing Dark Souls 3, and just now tried to parry something. But better late than never, I had both of my teammates disconnect. This caused a problem because I was prompted that I would be penalized for leaving the game, regardless that I was now the only player left. I may be wrong, but I don't think the enemies are scaled down, and now I was going to get penalized for leaving the game because I didn't want to play it alone. Either way, I don't think you should get penalized for trying to leave and regroup up with other players. Maybe they'll fix that eventually. The only other possible worry I have for Nightreign is probably the longevity of the game. For me, the bosses alone would be enough to keep me pushing through a few dozen hours, but at the moment, the only permanent things to unlock are the relics. In most games, the thing that pushes you into sinking dozens of hours into a game is the reward factor. Of course, the game is fun enough to play on its own, but for how long? In the base Elden Ring, you have exploration, the collection of weapons and gear to push you forward. But in Nightreign, that stuff is only temporary, besides the relics. Is the relics enough to keep you grinding the bosses over and over? I'm not sure. But this is only a network test, and this is just a thought of a possibility. Most likely, they'll have a lot more they aren't showing regarding progression. So I'll just leave this thought here until being able to experience the full release. To wrap things up, I had a lot of fun, despite not being able to play with my best friend, which I plan on making videos of Nightreign with him on release, so there's that. I was surprised that most of the randoms I played with weren't too bad to play with. I enjoyed playing all the characters, though Guardian is just the coolest in my opinion, and I'm excited to see what other characters, map variations, enemies, and bosses will throw at us when the full game comes out on May 30th. Based on my experience with the test, I believe we'll have a fun time regardless, even if it's just something to come back to every now and then. FromSoft is one of my favorite dev teams, and I have full faith in them to create yet another banger. With that said, here's the last fight I was able to encounter before the servers shut down. The Centipede Demon from Dark Souls 1. Thanks for watching.
If we can at least get... Did we do it? Oh, no, that was the start of it. What am I talking about? That's new. Centipede Demon? What? Hell yeah. Oh, it's only one down. It's only one. Hell yeah. That's so clutch. I thought if she went down, that's gonna be it. Oh, that's so good. Oh my god. Dude. Oh, that thing's separate now? Oh, shoot. Yeah! Woo! Yes, sir! Oh my god, that was a tough fight. Oh my god, parrying is it's so much less scary than you think it is. Like, that's it. That is it. I just wanted to get as far as I could. We finished day one. I got to see a boss that I've not seen so far. So I don't know if that was always in the network test. I've not seen the Centipede Demon thing in this yet. Out of the five or six, whatever, how many overruns I've done so far. So that was neat. I'm glad we were able to get enough time to see something new. That was pretty cool. I'm gonna do a full cannot log in because it's temporarily disabled and is undergoing maintenance. So there it is.